hope you're all alright. So some of you may have seen that South Gloucestershire Council have announced that on Monday they are going to be pedestrianising the High Street. What you may have also cottoned on to is the fact that many businesses are not happy about this. So I thought it might just be beneficial if you could just give me a couple of minutes of your time for me to share why we have some big concerns about this. And why you're going to be seeing posters in windows throughout the businesses and people asking for you to also get in touch with South Gloucestershire Council just to share your concerns too. So first of all, there's been no communication, there's been no consultation about this at all. So we found out yesterday, the 2nd of June, which is a week before it's going to take place. Many of our local town councillors also only found out yesterday. So there's been no opportunity for us to share our concerns, to ask, well, how will XYZ work? We have emailed them and we've had a response, which doesn't answer a lot of the questions and answers a couple. So here's kind of our list of why we have concerns about full pedestrianisation of the High Street. So many of you may not realise we do not have back access. The only way for us to take deliveries or get anything in and out of that shop is through that front door. So limiting deliveries has a significant impact for those of us down from, I think it's basically Thai Basil down to the garden shop. None of us have back access. So initially deliveries are going to be allowed at any point during the day, apparently. But they have indicated that they would like to get to the point where deliveries are more controlled than that. If deliveries end up having to be outside of our working hours, by which I mean 9 to 5:30, that is going to incur significant cost for us. So to employ somebody for an extra hour a day, Monday to Friday, is about £3,000. And so that will be that's the minimum cost we're looking at, and it's not insignificant. So we sell pictures and some big items, and currently, a lot of customers are not able to carry those, to their car because it's too big. So currently they would drive down and we would take it out to the car and help them put it in. If that is also not allowed, under whatever happens, then the result would be either a member of staff would have to leave the shop and go to a car park, which we just don't have the staffing to be able to cope with that, or we would be having to do more home deliveries, which again is just incurring an extra cost for us. We have a lot of customers, not just at Papilio but throughout Thornbury, with limited mobility. The number daily who get dropped off and then kind of helped in, and then the person goes and parks the car in a car park, is a significant number. And we have concerns that if that sort of drop-off is not allowed, many of these people don't have blue badges. So we're not just talking about those with blue badges, but others with mobility issues too. Whether that's temporary because they're waiting for an operation, or it's more permanent. So we do have concerns about what it means if they are unable to be dropped off on the High Street. Initially the plan also involves no disabled parking, so it would be maybe talked about in the future, but again the initial rollout does not incorporate any disabled parking on the High Street. Parking at peak times can already be quite tricky, as many of you will know. So again, getting rid of car parking spaces is not an insignificant decision. So I've been doing some sums. I want to be honest with you about some facts and figures. This, I believe, is grossly underestimating, but just to give you an idea, so just outside of our rank, so Papilio, there's about 8 car parking spaces. If I was to assume that from 9 to 5, they were only full for half of the time, and there was only one person per car, and that person only spent £5 in Thornbury during that quick visit, that equates to £160 a day. Now that is equivalent to paying 2 people to work on the High Street on that day. So as you can see, although some of those people may then go and park in the car park, I suspect not all of them will. So we are looking at a significant loss of income across the high street that could have an impact on local jobs. And so this is why, we've looked at numbers, and we just want to be honest with you. This is why we have concerns. Sorry, finding the next bit of my notes. So, click and collect. So like many businesses throughout this COVID lockdown, we've had to look at how we can continue to keep the business going, how we can be sustainable. And one of those ways is creating a web shop. And that allows for click and collect. So we were going to continue with that, and customers who are nervous about coming into the shops, it means they can still shop local, you can still support your high street, but you would be able to just quickly park outside, come in, grab it, and there's minimal human interaction. So again, it just puts things like click and collect at a disadvantage, and the things we are doing to try and ensure that the high street survives feels a little bit harder. We were also looking at, for the first few weeks when we reopen, doing the first hour as just bookable 15-minute slots, 2 people per slot, so that people, again, who are really nervous about coming out could book a slot, come in, feel safe, there's not lots of people around, they could park out the front, so there would be so little human interaction. But again, I think many of those who would be nervous would still be nervous even with a pedestrianised high street. We love being part of Thornbury, and I hope you all know that. We love being part of the community. However, to be sustainable as a business, we also have to attract visitors to Thornbury and not just our regulars. Some of our biggest sales have come from customers who have driven through the high street, seen all the shops, seen how the restaurants, seen how lovely it looks, and they've either come back the next day, or some of them even months later, because they've clocked Thornbury and thought, we need to go and visit that place. By pedestrianising the high street fully, the thing that people are going to see of Thornbury is supermarkets and car parks, and I think that puts us at a disadvantage compared to many other towns, and therefore many visitors will not return because they won't have seen actually what we can offer. Many people come in and are so jealous of what we have in Thornbury, so we want to protect that. I think a lot of people are viewing the pedestrianisation as the opportunity to have lots of tables and chairs outside, to go all continental. And from our point of view, I'll be honest, if we could put tables and chairs outside, it would be for takeaway coffee only. We wouldn't be able to do food service. We wouldn't be able to take foods and drink through the gift shop to the front of the shop. So, for us, that isn't a feasible option to do full food out there. So yeah, we would support, in all honesty, if it was done correctly, if it was done with consultation, and it was done talking to us and ensuring that we can still operate as a business, then we could see how a one-way system could be feasible, how it could work well, how it could, increase, traffic and keep parking, increase traffic flow, increase parking, and give a bit more space for people to move around. So we would be up talking to South Gloss about that. However, as they currently are proposing a full closure, and because they have the potential and the ability to keep this going for 12 months without consultation, we feel the need to just let you all know why we have concerns, and to say, please do speak to other local businesses, and if you are able to, if you feel able to support us, I know we would all really appreciate you reaching out to South Gloucestershire Council and voicing your support too. So thank you for taking the time. Please do send me a message if you have any questions. I know there's probably things I've missed, but this is kind of our initial less than 24 hours on response, because time is moving on, and on Monday this will be taking place. Thank you. Bye bye.